So our canoe trip up to Crean this year got me thinking about those big backcountry lakes up north. You know, there were some guys up there that had these little fishing boats and they were packed up to the hilt with you know, gear, and they were able to stay up for so much longer and carry water and carry food in and carry big tents with cots and all sorts of comfortable stuff. And I started looking at that and thinking about the boys and the three of us doing more of this in the future, and started thinking, geez, you know, not bad. Now the canoe still has its place for sure. Smaller lakes and rivers and those kind of overnighter things. Canoe is really the way to go with that. You can be quiet and silent and get into places that you can't get in with a boat. But for the bigger stuff, you know, those bigger lakes where you want to get some real miles across a 13-kilometer lake and really check out a few of the different fishing spots on it, a little boat would really be the way to go. So I bought this. So, introducing Tinny Tina. This is a 14-foot aluminum Springbok, probably vintage around 1965 or so. So I found this one on some online classifieds. Guy was asking $500 for the boat and trailer. Got out there, had a look at it, looked good, all the rivets were in place, no major dents or anything silly, so offered him $400 and I took it. And we drove her home that night. So this boat would have originally been a closed bow, 14 foot, with controls up front. You can still see we've got a plate here where the controls would have been, and a console would have come up to about here, with the whole bow would have been closed in. That's why this front seat isn't quite a seat, and we've still got some of the pulleys and things that would have been there for the controls and that sort of thing. The previous owner has made these lovely removable padded seats, which are fantastic and give us a little bit of comfort while we're out on the water. So one for each of those seats, and those have been great. Last weekend I was out on my uncle's farm for a wiener roast, and mentioned that I was looking for some oars, and he said, gee, you know, I think I've got some oars. So I got these old oars off of my uncle for nothing, and they fit just perfect, and painted them up to match the boat a little bit better. And those are going to be a really good backup system to the motors. So what better match to a 1965 Springbok than a 1960s Ted Williams? That's right, Ted Williams, the outfielder for the Boston Red Sox back in the day, also a avid fisherman. So I told my buddy Kenny I got this boat, and he said, I think I've got a motor for you. And he brought over this old Ted Williams 7.5 horse, two-stroke, air-cooled engine, and we got it apart that night and fiddled a bit with the carb and cleaned things out and got it back together. Got it running. It took a couple of tries, but got it running okay. So a couple of weeks ago, we took it on its maiden voyage up at the lake, and it worked great, right up until it didn't. We'll be all right, thanks. Appreciate it. Since our maiden voyage, I've done a couple of tweaks to the old Ted Williams, and I think we probably got her sorted now. So I redid all of the gas lines inside, and got a inline fuel filter in there, and all new clamps and new hoses. So hopefully that'll take care of some of it. Also cleaned the carb out one more time and made sure that that float valve is not sticking anymore. So Tina here is named after my grandmother, who was probably the greatest fisherman I ever knew, or at least the most adamant about going fishing. So every time I get to take this one out and throw a line in the water, it'll help me think about her and think about fishing with her. So Tina, this one's for you. Anyway, just a quick introduction to our new floating vessel, and I'm sure you'll see it in a few videos yet as we embark. Winter's coming pretty soon, so we'll see how many trips we can get with it before the snow flies, but pretty excited to have a little bit of extra space and you know, a motor to get us across some of the bigger lakes and get some distance and some supplies packed in here. So pretty excited about my little $400 boat.